This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is 1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Ramesh Pires. First, the headlines. A program to issue medicinal drugs for patients from Osusala outlets free of charge due to the ongoing strike action. The health trade unions say that strike action will continue until their demands are met. The Amendments to Terrorism Prevention Act tabled in the Parliament. Solutions to be provided for delayed court hearings. Proposals to provide solar power panels to some of the beneficiary families. A series of guidelines to be changed daily to provide question papers at exam centers. In news overseas, Japanese Prime Minister is hoping for an early return of parties to Iran nuclear agreement. And now the local news in detail. Facilities have been made for the people who are arriving to obtain treatment at the Colombo General Hospital to receive their medicinal drugs through Osusala outlets without any charge due to the ongoing strike action. Accordingly, drugs have been issued to around 5,000 patients up to date since the strike was launched. For patients who have prescriptions issued by a Colombo General Hospital doctor, the drugs will be issued freely. The charges of bills will be paid by the hospitals to Osusalas. This program will be implemented on the advice given by the President to the Ministry of Health. In addition, the bills for testing will also be paid by the hospital. When inquired in this regard from the officials of the Osusala in this regard, they said that more than 1,000 people are bringing prescriptions daily from last Monday. Measures have been taken to provide medicinal drugs needed for them. The chairman of the Nurses Association, Venerable Murutetwe Anandathera, requested the employees who are engaged in strike action to stop the strike. The members of the association have not responded for it. The hospital director said that all hospitals in the northern province are operating as usual. Meanwhile, the ongoing strike will continue further. The trade unionists say they intend to intensify the strike action as their demands were not met with a favourable response. Chairman of the health trade unions, Ravi Kumudesh, said that if their demands are not met, they will continue the strike action indefinitely. The bill to amend the Prevention of Terrorism Temporary Provisions Act No. 48 of 1979 was tabled in the Parliament today by Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Pires. After the bill was presented, Tamil National Alliance MP M.A. Sumanthiran quoted the Justice Minister as saying the PTA would be totally repealed. In response, the Foreign Minister said all these criticisms can be made on the floor of the Parliament when the bill is taken up for debate. He further said it is presented in keeping with the standing orders of the House. Any citizen of the country can challenge it in the Supreme Court. Minister Rohit Abhivardhana said that the people who are involved in some cases are facing many difficulties due to the long-term delay of court hearings. Therefore, he added, the number of judges should be increased and the facilities in courts should also be upgraded. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Get extra 10 rupees for every dollar and receive a refund of transaction fees up to rupees 1,000 when depositing funds to a rupee account from People's Bank.
The Commissioner General of Examinations, LMD Dharmasena, says that disciplinary action will be taken against the Chief of Examination Centres at Gampaha Takshina Vidyalaya and Badigama Christu Vidyalaya over the issue occurred yesterday regarding the art subject at the GCE Advanced Level Examination. At present, they have been removed from their duties. He told the SLBC that a series of guidelines will be issued today to make changes of providing question papers daily at the examination centres where the GCE A-level examination is being conducted. Consultant physician Dr. Sarath Gamini De Silva says that COVID-19 patients who are receiving home-based care do not need to seek medical advice unless they are suffering from severe disease. Speaking further in this regard, he said the patient should take plenty of rest, stressing that they should avoid heavy workloads and moving around unnecessarily. The other important thing is taking plenty of liquids, he stated, and noted that an adult needs to drink at least 2 liters of liquids a day. And that ends local news.
Get extra 10 rupees for every dollar and receive a refund of transaction fees up to rupees 1,000 when depositing funds to a rupee account from People's Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
State Minister Dumendra Dissanayake says that although solar power panels had been installed on roofs of houses, the CEB has not taken action to provide connections in this regard. He said in Parliament that the Cabinet approval has been received for this project of providing electricity for the low-income recipients through solar power panels. A proposal has also been made to implement a program to fix solar power panels to 100,000 Samurtha beneficiary families. And that came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight, Balanguda Depot Superintendent Dharmasiri Harishchandra says that an additional bus service will be deployed for the convenience of the devotees of Balanguda villages on Poe days. Accordingly, the buses will be operated from Kurugala to Rajamaha Viharasthana and covering all roads of the area. He further stated that SLTB buses will be added from Balanguda to Kalani Rajamaha Vihara on Poe days. And that came to you in Watchlight. A bulletin of world news is next. Moving on to the bulletin of world news, first the headlines. Japanese Prime Minister is hoping for an early return of parties to Iran nuclear agreement. China to build more eco-farms by 2025. The French President speaks with US President Biden after visiting Russia and Ukraine. And now the world news in detail. Japanese Prime Minister Kishida Fumio has told Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi that he is hoping for an early return of all parties to the 2015 Iran nuclear agreement. Kishida spoke with Raisi on the phone for about half an hour yesterday. It was Kishida's first conversation with the Iranian president since he took office as Prime Minister last October. The two leaders exchanged views on the resumption on Tuesday of indirect talks between the United States and Iran to revive the nuclear deal. The US and Iran have been holding talks through the European Union after former US President Donald Trump unilaterally pulled out of the deal in 2018. China plans to build more ecological farms in the coming years to advance modernization and green development in the agricultural sector, said a guideline published yesterday by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs. China aims to build 1,000 national ecological farms and 10,000 local ones nationwide by 2025. They will be agriculture production and operation entities targeting maximum sustainable output while seeking to match the resources, be environmentally friendly and ensure food safety, it said. French President Emmanuel Macron spoke by phone with his US counterpart Joe Biden yesterday to brief him on his recent visit to Russia and Ukraine. The French and US government said Macron explained what he discussed in his separate meetings with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky on Tuesday. Macron and Biden reportedly affirmed that France will continue dialogue using a four-way framework with Russia, Ukraine and Germany in order to achieve a breakthrough in the Ukraine crisis. Back to the headlines of the world news. Japanese Prime Minister is hoping for an early return of parties to Iran nuclear agreement. China to build more eco-farms by 2025. The French President speaks with US President Biden after visiting Russia and Ukraine. And that concludes the bulletin of world news.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take coal out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
In development news, attention has been paid to keep the minor offenders in house arrest instead of imprisoning them in order to seek solutions of the overcrowding in prisons. This system is being utilized even in developed countries. The Commissioner General of Prisons, Chandana Ekanayaka, said that a 5-year plan project will be implemented while giving priority for reconstruction activities in the prison department. A short, medium and long-term proposals have been submitted in this regard to provide solutions. And that came to you in development news.
Development news was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928. Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Moving on to sports news, it's cricket. CVC capital-owned team Gujarat Titans have been witness to trend on Twitter since it announced its official name for the upcoming Indian Premier League. Ahmedabad franchise yesterday announced the official team via the pre-match session on Star Sports, where host Justin Sapro presented the guests, Gujarat Titans skipper Hardik Pandya, head coach Ashish Nehra and CVC capital partner Siddharth Patel to announce the official name. Meanwhile, Joe Clark has been named as one of England's reserve players for next month's 3-test series against the West Indies. England named a 16-man test squad on Tuesday and have also produced a list of reserves who could be called upon if a player suffers an injury. Clark's inclusion among the reserves is notable given the ECB told him back in 2019 that he would not be considered for England selection after his off-field behaviour came under scrutiny during the rape trial of his former Worcestershire teammate Alex Hepburn. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Sri Lanka Embassy in Nepal and the Export Development Board of Sri Lanka jointly organised a virtual meeting for Sri Lankan construction companies to interact with the Nepal Ministry of Physical Infrastructure and Transport and learn about procedures and regulations applicable to foreign investors, including for joint ventures. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
State Ministry of Spice Plantation Crop Industrial Promotion says that 100,000 kilograms of turmeric was purchased from farmers recently. The Agriculture Department and the Lanka Spice Trading Board are purchasing turmeric from the farmers of Kampaha, Kekol and Ratnapura districts. A kilo of turmeric has purchased at 165 rupees. And that was economic news. The weather report is next.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
And finally, moving on to the weather report, the Met Department says cloudy skies will prevail over the northern and eastern provinces. Showers will occur at times in the northern, north-central, eastern and over provinces and in the Hambantota and Matale districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere during the evening or night. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places. And that was the weather report. And to end this news broadcast, a recap of the main news headlines. A program to issue medicinal drugs for patients from Osusala outlets free of charge due to the ongoing strike action. The Health Minister, health trade unions say that their strike action will continue until their demands are met. The amendments to Terrorism Prevention Act tabled in the Parliament. Solutions to be provided for delayed court hearings. Proposals to be provided for some of the beneficiaries for solar power panels. A series of guidelines to be changed daily to provide question papers at exam centers. And in news overseas, Japanese Prime Minister is hoping for an early return of parties to Iran nuclear agreement. And that concludes this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.